Alrighty, hey everybody. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you like the new backdrop here. This will be more easy on the eyes, I think. Hey Barnett, thank you so much. We'll use your chart actually. So today we're going to dive deep into the north and south nodes. That's basically what I exclusively use with my readings now. 90% of the reading now is specifically on the nodes. Of course, the sun, the moon, the other planets are important when you tie it into that. But I focus on the north and south nodes almost exclusively now. And the reason is because basically if we're living off of our path, our life is very unfulfilling. This is when we feel the most stuck. We don't feel like things are flowing in our life. We feel drained. We feel uncertain. Is when we are off of that path. When we're on the path, our life is energizing. We're seeing fulfillment. We're seeing, success in different areas of life. And it really just depends on what area of life we're talking about, right? So, career, for example, when our career is in alignment with the path, our career is very fulfilling and not stuck, etc. Relationship, very fulfilling when it's in alignment with the path, etc. So very, very, very powerful, the life path, the north and south nodes. So I'd love to dive deep with everyone into that. If you don't already have your chart, I put a link there. Margaret, if you could post a link again, just so it's easy for everyone. To the chart calculator, go ahead and just take a moment, plug in your birth details. We're going to dive deep into that north and south nodes, and we'll see exactly where it is for you. And we'll go through all the 12 combinations. We're going to look at mainly the houses as the main components. You can, of course, tie it in with signs, but we're going to keep it very simple because the houses are the most important. And yeah, hopefully by the end of today, you feel more confirmed, more convicted in your life path and how to align the different areas of your life so that they are more fulfilling for you. All right, so I'll go ahead and start here with Barnett. So she was the first one to provide those birth details. So we're going to go with these. So I don't know exactly how to spell that, but I think that's what I'm seeing here. All right, so we have the 1st of December. Happy belated birthday. 1971. And that's at 1:25 a.m. So again, if you're just joining us, take a moment to pull up your birth chart on the website there with the chart calculator link that Margaret just provided. And we're going to dive deep into your life path. Detroit. All right. So, Barnett, hopefully this is right. Robert? Oh, Robert. Okay. I'll go ahead and change your name there. All right. So, Robert, hopefully that is right. Please let me know. And we'll go and get started. In the meantime, I'd like to say hello to everybody. Christopher Wallace, happy holidays. Thank you for joining. Linz, great to see you. Glad tidings from Oregon. Lovely, great to have you. So if we have extra time, I'll plug in your birth details as well, but we're going to use Robert's here as the main example. But thank you for that. Erica Alexandria, great to see you. Good afternoon in the solstice season. I hope you all had a nice solstice. We are officially in the new year from an astrological or seasonal standpoint. The sun will be, slowly rising relative to the seasons now moving forward. Erica says, again, awaiting some answers concerning working from home, continuing with esoteric studies, and resuming creative endeavors. North node, first house, south node, 7th house. That's my combination too, by the way, Erica. My north node's in the 1st, south node's in the 7th. But yeah, great to see that your studies and creative endeavors are resuming. So Robert says it's been challenging for 2 to 3 years. All right, so hopefully we'll be able to help with that, Robert. And by the way, I do have my doggy with me here today. You want to say hi to everyone, Zeus? Come here, Zeus. Good boy. Let me see if I can. You want to go? Hey, everybody. This is Zeus. This is what he was named already. You didn't have to name him anything astrological, but that's the name for Jupiter. Yes. Good boy. He's a big dog. So, so going through the list. Hey, everyone. Karmic Kerfuffle, great to see you. Aquarius Sky Clock, England. Evening from England. Oh, yeah, and so by the way, if he does bark, I do have my noise cancellation earbuds, but if it gets too loud or annoying, just let me know. Nicole Nichols, made it for live. Glad you could join us. Again, if you're just joining us, make sure you get your birth chart at the chart calculator. The north and south nodes are the horseshoe-looking things. So for Robert, this is his south node. So the south node looks like a U, and the north node looks like an N. So in this case, we're looking at the houses. Robert has his south node in the 11th and north node in the 5th. So find out what that combination is for you. What house, what number? What number is your south node in? What number is your north node in? We're going to dive deep into this. So we're going to use Robert's as an example. But before we do, I'm going to go through all 12 houses just very briefly. And I want you to write down what that area of life is. So as I'm talking about Robert's, you'll be able to apply that same idea of how to work with the nodes to your life. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this then. Yeah, Zeus is awesome. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so hopefully you know where your north node is. So the N, what house number, write down the number, and the U, write down the number. They will be opposite. The numbers will be opposite. So in this case, north node 5, south node 11 for Robert. So first house, 7th house. North node in the first house, 7th house, south node. Your north node's in the area of independence. And so write down this word, independence, because we're going to be using these key words. Independence for you, for your north node, and relationships for your south node. If the north node's in your 2nd house, south node in the 8th, north node in the 2nd house is self-reliance. We'll use that as the key word. In your south node, the 8th house is interdependency. North node, the 3rd house will be practical. South node, the 9th house, abstract life. The practical versus the abstract life. North node in the 4th, home for the north node, and career, the axis between personal life and productive life. North node in the 5th, like we have here for Robert, we'll be diving deep into it. 5th house of self-expression versus contribution. So the push and pull between self-expression and contribution. North node in the 6th house, south node in the 12th house, the dichotomy between structure and non-structure, the physical and the non-physical life. The 7th house, north node, 1st house, south node, north node relationships, south node independence. North node, 8th house, south node, 2nd house, 8th house, north node, interdependency, south node, self-reliance. The 9th house, north node, the 9th, the abstract world, abstract life, free-spirited life. South node, practical life. North node, the 10th, career achievement, north node. South node, personal life and home. Swapped with Robert would be North Node the 11th. This would be North Node for contribution, South Node for self-expression. And North Node in the 12th house would be life path of finding soul fulfillment in life versus structure. All right, so hopefully you've written down those keywords, because now we're going to use Robert's chart as the example and really dive deep now into what the nodes actually are, what the nodes actually mean. And you can apply it to those keywords. So again, for Robert, his keyword for his North Node is self-expression. And the keyword for his South Node is contribution. So you'll just use those, whatever those keywords that we just went through for you. So the South Node represents where our soul's coming from. Past life, if you will. The Hindus talk a lot about the Rahu, Ketu, the North and South Nodes, and really attribute Ketu, the South Node, to our past lives. Okay, it's where we built karmic patterns, where we're very familiar, very comfortable with that world, and really trying to now in this life find fulfillment with it, because it's what we're used to. We're used to the South Node energy. So for Robert, you had a past life where you were contributing. You had contributed to something greater than yourself. And you had found a lot of fulfillment in doing that. You were a part of something greater. It doesn't have to be totally social, but you definitely felt like you were able to contribute. This was likely to the world. It was likely to the future. And it was likely to your community. Okay. You're probably into very visionary things, innovative, forward-thinking, technology, things of the sky, also weather, astrology. This vision, intuition, prediction, but really about wanting to again have that sense of vision and innovation and contribution. So this life. For Robert, this life is taking you in the complete opposite direction. This life has been taking you towards not so much what the world needs or the collective needs, but what do you need for your self-expression? What is it that you love? What is it that ignites you? Now, the North Node is what was not emphasized in the past life. Okay, so it's very unfamiliar. So for Robert, even though this area should excite you, self-expression, and by the way, this is also the area of fun, playfulness, hobbies, interests, romance, education, working with kids, anything that we feel like is a form of self-expression, passion, something we love. And of course, it's about connecting to people we love as well. So this is really what we mean by these. These are keywords we're using, but of course they go much deeper. So anyways, life is helping Robert explore the self-expression, the journey of discovering his passion, who he is, what he loves, okay? But this does come with a push and pull, because the South Node pulls us and the North Node pushes us. So for Robert, this can feel like a push and pull between contribution on one side and self-expression on the other. What the world needs versus what Robert needs. And this is essentially what we would say is the life helping us find balance between these two polarities. Okay, and again, it's the polarities that I went through for all of you. For the first house, 7th house, no matter what direction, it's the push and pull between independence and relationship. For the 2nd and 8th, it's the push and pull between self-reliance and interdependency. For the 3rd and 9th, it's the push and pull between the practical life and the abstract life. For the 4th and 10th, any direction here, 4 or 10, push and pull between personal life and productive life. 6th and 12th, push and pull between the structure of life and finding peace in life, letting go of structure. So how do we find this balance? Because this is really the million-dollar question. And if we can find balance in, like I said, the different areas of life, whether it's our careers, relationships, whatever, with the North and South nodes, we find fulfillment in that area or in life in general. So what we figured out, put very simply, and I'll explain this more in a second, but we need to be yin about our south node and yang about our north node. So by yin, I mean letting life take more control. We could say yin is a way of living, yang is a way of living. Yin would be a more Eastern philosophy way of living, which is more about kind of letting life take control, being more accepting for how things are, being more grateful, going with the flow with things, right? That's more yin. So that's how we need to approach our south node, past life self. Now, equally as valid is yang, and that's seen more in the West. So this is the mentality that if you want something in life, you have to get it, you have to pursue it, you have to be proactive. You have to have a strong ego, desire it, want it, take it from life, right? So the nodes are telling us exactly where to be yin and where to be yang. Yin on the south node area, yang on the north node area. Very, very important. Now, what we tend to do is we tend to do the opposite. We tend to put yang where it should be yin and yin where it should be yang. Okay, and this is, in my opinion, where we come to our life struggles and challenges, difficulties, because even though I'm saying all this and it's, it sounds very simple, it's extremely difficult and extremely complex in practice. But of course, by being aware of it, it helps. And that's why astrology can be helpful for it. But astrology is not going to do it for us, and simply being aware of it, it's not going to do anything for us either. But it's a good step. So when it comes to our south node, so for Robert, there needs to be no ego, no yang, no proactivity in the realm of contribution. Friends. Again, everything associated with contribution is friends, community, the world, the future. The more Robert puts energy into focusing on the world, the future, how and where to contribute, friends, groups, all this, his past life self, the more it'll drain his energy. He'll feel stuck. Robert, I think you'll see that the most stuck periods of your life are when you put a lot of yang or proactivity or just mental energy into contribution in its different forms. And, the reverse is true too, even though it's much better to err on the side of the north node when it comes to conscious self. But if we were to go all into our north node, right, put full, energy into our north node at the exclusion of our south node, that would be a very surface level life. So Robert, I'm sure there's that part of you that would want to just maybe just only focus on your self-expression or your hobbies, interests, creative pursuits, and just completely let go of, contribution. And you would actually see success in doing that, but that would be a very surface level life. Very surface level life. So let me see if I can get a drawing board here by opening up a Zoom. Let me try this. Can I do that? I need a pen to draw with. Maybe Windows has... Does Windows have a pen? I can't seem to start a Zoom call. Oh no, yeah, there I do. All right, so let's do that. New meeting. Okay. Share my screen. Because this gives me a pen. All right, let's see if this works. All right. So the life path, I think the best analogy for the life path is the tree. So, it's not working? Oh, it doesn't want to work. It was working just a second ago. Oh, maybe. Oh, because this, okay. Right. So whatever, I don't need the chat. Okay, so the best analogy is that of the tree. So the tree has a yin part, and that's its roots, right? It's yin because life is providing for the tree through its roots. And the tree does not control anything that goes on under the soil. It doesn't choose when it gets water, nutrients. It certainly didn't choose when it was where it was planted, okay? And so life is providing for the tree under the soil. This is how we want to approach our south node, like the roots of a tree. No effort. It needs to be effortless. In other words, life is in control. We are not in control. Again, we tend to, put control into it. We tend to be yang about our south node, past life self. But like I said, that represents the most stuck and stagnant periods of our life, and where we feel the most lost and uncertain with things. It needs to be effortless, but notice that I'm not saying to push those things away. Like for Robert, I'm not saying, hey, you know what? Don't be involved with groups or community or the world of the future. In everything we do, we need to be rooted in the south node in order to have this soul fulfillment. But again, it's for spiritual reasons, not physical reasons. Non-yang, yin reasons. So for Robert, everything he does needs to be in the world of contribution. That's 11th house, keyword. And but it needs to be done in a yin way. Gratitude, acceptance, effortlessness, no mind, no control, letting life take control. Because again, if we're putting yang towards that past life stuff, we block the energy. It's like two currents swimming against each other. Life's trying to provide it from one side, we're trying to get it from the other, cancels out. So with all the areas that are associated with our past life self, we need to be effortless with it. It needs to come in naturally, but still in everything we do needs to be immersed into it. That's the yin part of the tree. That's how the tree shows us how to approach yin things in life, in this case our south node. Now the top of the tree is the yang part of the tree. It's where the tree puts 80 to 90% of its energy. So its conscious self, its energy, on the top, on growing the trunk, on growing the leaves with the branches, with the seasons, and of course, the very potent, energetic fruit. So this is the yang part of the tree. This is how the tree shows us to work with our north node. We need to put effort into it though. Life will not provide anything for us in the world of our north node without effort. And this is the difficulty of the north node. Life gives us an empty canvas and says paint. And then life just kind of throws us to the wolves and says, oh, you figure it out. The beauty is that life's going to support us no matter what we draw on this canvas. But the difficulty is it's a blank canvas, and it's also an area that we have not developed from past life, right? So for Robert, his past life just focused on contribution. Didn't have to focus on his heart, what he loves, who he loves, his self-expression. But it should be very exciting. The North Node stuff should be very exciting, very much outside the comfort zone because it's new. And also recognizing that there's no end point with it either. It's about the journey, not the destination. We don't ever get to some end point with our North Node like, oh, I made it, you know. So that's the hard part, is about taking that self-will and putting in that effort and not having real guidance. But the beauty is that it's up to us. We can paint whatever we want. And putting in just a little bit of proactivity, a little bit of effort, a little bit of yang on the North Node area catalyzes our life. And if you look to your past, you'll likely see that the most catalyzing times of your life were when you put energy towards your North Node. So this creates the balance. This is all about balance. We hear a lot about the North and South nodes, that you should just focus on the North Node. That comes from the West a lot. The Western astrology just places a lot of emphasis on the North Node. Eastern Hindu astrology places a lot of emphasis on the South Node in terms of having to resolve that karma. But both are equally important. Both need to be balanced. And it's more of a matter of putting yin where yin should be and yang where yang should be. So there's a very powerful exercise that I'm going to leave you all with, that I do recommend doing, is to draw 2 columns. On the top left column, I want you to write the keyword for your South Node. For the top right, I want you to write the keyword for your North Node. So for Robert, the top left column would read contribution. The top right column would read self-expression. And then I want you to list all the things in your life, all the people in your life, all the contexts of your life situation, and ask yourself, where does it fall more on? Is it pulling you more towards that keyword of your South Node? Or is it pushing you more towards the keyword of your North Node? And write these things down, the people's names, how they're showing up, because they're going to be one or the other. More one over the other. And the reason this is so powerful is because you have a very, very practical and very clear path forward. Because you know that everything that shows up on the left side, you know you need to approach effortlessly. Let it happen automatically. Be grateful for it. Try to kill the ego with those things. So for Robert, certainly, be involved in community, the world, the future, but that needs to feel effortless. If it ever feels like you're putting effort into your South Node, then again, that's likely to block the energy. Try to kill the ego there. If I was to say something to Robert like, you'll never find community, you'll never feel like you're contributing to the world, you'll never be a part of something greater, or have your future visions or your visions come to fruition, this would help him be more yin about it. This would kill the ego, to invert the past life area and say, forget it, it's not going to happen. Ego dies, and then life is able to provide more. Because we get out of the way, we stop blocking the stream. So everything that shows up on the left, that's South Node related, needs to be approached with effortlessness. Everything on the right needs to be put with effort. Proactivity, action. Won't come easy, won't come free. It'll only come if there's effort and proactivity put into it. And life will stagnate unless there's effort and proactivity put on anything on the right side. And here, my friends, is the path. The path unfolds once we approach. Once we put effortlessness where effortlessness needs to be, effort where effort needs to be. And the chart is very explicit in terms of where that is. All right, so I really hope this was helpful. Let me run through the chat because I have to turn off the drawing tool for this. Actually, I can leave that. So was this helpful? Does anyone have any questions? Any questions about what we just discussed here? It's very simple in theory, in what we're talking about, but very difficult to apply, very challenging, but extremely rewarding. Please don't let the simplicity of it deter you from doing it or thinking it's not important. I really highly recommend you apply this and look to your past to see how it's been applied. It's so helpful. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and clear this so I can read the chat a little bit easier. So I'll start with Robert. Let me see what's Robert saying here. So Robert says, it has definitely been frustrating chaos to be yang about the south node. Yeah, it's very difficult when we do that. Robert says, very helpful, eye-opening, thank you. You're very welcome, Robert. So I'll go through the chat. Let me know if there's any questions about this. I'll run through the nodes, or the houses again. Again, if your north node was in the first house, that's that you have to be putting effort into independence and being effortless about relationships. All right, so this is if you had... So I'll go through all of them again so you all can get the most out of this. But if your chart looks like this, north node in the first, south node will be over here. Effort on independence, effortlessness on relationships. If your north node is in the second, effort into self-reliance, effortlessness in everything interdependent. North node in the third, effortless on the practical aspects of your life, effortlessness on all things abstract and free-spirited. North node the fourth, effort on personal life and home life, effortlessness on all things career and productive. We talked about Roberts with the north node. North node the sixth, effort into routine, work, structure, effortlessness on all things soul, ether, void, spiritual, psychology, non-physical. North node in the seventh, effort into relationships, partnerships, one-on-one, effortlessness on all things self-oriented and independent. North node in the eighth, effort into interdependence, relying on others and others on you, both emotionally and materially. Effortlessness on self-reliance in the material world. North node the ninth, effort into expanding your horizons and getting more into the abstract world and the free-spirited world. Effortless on the practical. North node the 10th, effort into productive life, achievement, career accomplishment. Effortlessness on the personal life and home life. If you had swapped nodes to Robert, then it would just be swapped. Effort into collective contribution, friends, group, community, all that. Effortlessness on self-expression in matters of the heart. Then lastly, north node in the 12th, effort into soul-fulfilling things in life. Effort into finding peace, mental health, spiritual health. Effortlessness on work and the physical life, structures. Work, routine, all that stuff. All right, everyone. So again, I hope it was helpful. Let me just see if there's any final questions, and we'll go ahead and conclude here. Very powerful stuff, in my opinion. So I'm going to start off where... So gift wrapped question, if your child is born within the hour of your south node, is this child past life family member? Yeah, very likely, very likely. So whenever you're doing synastry, so compatibility in your overlaying charts, if there's very prominent planets like the sun or moon next to the other person's south node, yes, this would be very much past life, soulmate type of stuff. And then if it's the north node, it's like future life, Thank you, Ari Gold. Lovely. What if we use Western and the north node is in different place? Do we have two north nodes? Well, I still find, so Western, so it's all about the house system is what we did today. So this is also a Western house system. What I used today was equal house. What's used in the calculator is equal house. But what's more common in Western astrology is a quadrant system like Placidus usually. So it's just a different way of interpreting the house. So I would say which one resonates more. I think they're all accurate. It's just a matter of which one resonates more. Christine, glad it was very helpful. Thank you. A Hermit's Life. Mine are the same as Robert's. This was helpful and eye-opening. Awesome to hear. Harmony Goddess. Another one matched Robert's. Cool. I'm glad we used Robert's. I think I may have blocked the drawing there. Apologies. Could the current placement? Yeah. So the current transiting placement of the north and south nodes is where we can currently be implementing our life path. So right now, wherever you have the beginning of Pisces and the beginning of Virgo, would tell you that. That's just transits, though. I don't want to get too complicated for everybody, but yes, to answer your question. Christine, yeah, there's a book brewing somewhere in my mind, and I've definitely been considering it. If two people have the nodes completely opposite, Nina, that's great. When I see synastry like this, I see it's usually very good compatibility. It's where one person's going, the other person's been, and vice versa, which is great. All right, everyone. So we'll conclude it here. Again, hopefully you like this backdrop. I think it's easier on the eyes. Hopefully this was helpful today with the north and south nodes, as I find it to be the most important part of astrology, honestly. But yeah, everyone have a great one. I'll see you all next time for the next live stream. All right, take care. Bye-bye.